Ebusia an yesi e deported young don akọ South Africa an na nienti a ombo modia e deported ne di ne ko South Africa o ma na mfa ama Ghana no an yesi okura South Africa passport an enunti no ombo modia e deport no e de ne ko South Africa no amesre mu mie nkonko tie ni e twa egwe
na kuta kono so passport a so we Ghana ni na we Mali ni we Ghana ni na kuta Mali passport no be ko Mali we Togo ni na so kuta Ghana passport ni be ko to Ghana asema bi kan bebre obo kan kure omo nim nyame so asem a omo mpese omo betwa tro no na omo fa etan kasa no omo na etro is true no I'm not lying chede why na je say on there why they can't say biana en kura see they vinya no kure no be cho you know so they be say lying so but those who know how make nyame so asem nye tan dia they know what I'm saying na e no kure ye chew na ukuta Togo passport now you Ghana ni impo so far as ukuta Togo passport no you do be Togo they don't care
okay
because who you Togo
okay boy no shana the way no na oye no osha atenidi e wadidi mpanimfo bi na nya no me wo boy no so ana
Joe me say me di card by fatu wansa na makama ma me di card kana se we unim the whole 24 so ye no aye asantefo ne say di opa bia ye pe obenni kura be chief limam mi nya no kokutu nanim na mabunkotodwe amande ne nan atomati na waka se nyame nhira wo na madafo munumuni ochedua ono so mi nya na ye me brother oda mabusuam na waka se wo bakura so na wo si obi na beka se oye fake mimi oye me family member ntino binka se oye fake mekọ ne ho amana ka se nyame nhira wo de obeye bia nyeye ama metimi di me se si me bua ka se me family member ni sa bo we amfana ni anto hia ni bi ba tibi be kan krofo sa enipa minim o ma odi o matem nyina bom na odi o matem ti full
azwa ma be find up in Joanu omo live no so no if I say me cost ye call 13.5k my security di omo trans che pa o onim se ni pa egusu bebre ni nyina security di 3000 Ghana no munyai
of course kunim bibi 3000 no di o tua sa 3000 kwa wono me da na blabo so di o tua bi ma na ye 3000 kwa wono me sani pakro no obetua sa wo social media e won kwase sika ho sa ni sika wonya peace won ablabo mu da obetua sa kwase sika sei obetua sa ofan onya the power in life mu da because so wutimi ka se wutua me aboa no na wanwene de ode ye otumfo wanwene de ode ye again no wanwene de ode ye ajabraja wanwene de ode ye chief ni mam wanwene de ode ye sa ochedua se me body di boni amon fan cheme because on se me
yeah adum chedua yeah
wanwene sa nipa na me bo mu nyina di ho na wo hwenya nim se utua na wandi kan antwen amma sa mpanifo no mu amfa nche no na wo so wudi kan ya chena usika no ebe dane aboa to so 2026 obe bread the rest of your life because saya no mu ko mu no you did not even feel for them you just pay enti senka yesika bia ese ke de gene nkwa enka wo de what to omu feelings atogu se wo kotua you will never get peace. This is the high time we tell ourselves, you know, telling truth, you know, when I bet you truth to yourself, you know, you are not afraid to tell truth to everybody. I'm doing the same thing here because I can tell myself the truth. This boy or social media fame or buy get no bet su ye no or bet two get ne twa ho ye nyina ye ma ye wo twe kwase aba me mpew wo ye oba wo two get ne twa ho. And you, some of you are laughing, and you think they're funny. You unya obetrase kasa ajabraja. Ajabraja me wakwati. Sorry, me manu chichiri form sa me kasa. Me wakwati me wo say. Otufo me wakwati me wo say me manu chichiri form me manu chichiri binim. Say me use sa word no. Chief ni mam.
Odina tempasa, odi papa na tempasa.
Name it. And you guys think say you're funny. We think say you're funny with social media. We think say you're funny. Boy, no, wouldn't be onyale na aye come on have visiting na kudru na bedru South Africa. Onyale o. No. Owo se mo ye fools. E na mo pesika. Onim se obeka. Because some of you muta jabraja, some of you muta chedua, some of you muta some of you muta again, no, some of you muta otumfo, entino, because my page me motumfo. So some of you no nim se mo betua. Na yese ye entino obaye no. Onyale o, ba ne kama na de na bedru South Africa. Boy na kase obeti toilet edi. Before say boy ni be nyankopɔ be na dom. Ama ne ho atono no. Nyense onyale o, ba say sad yina dana so kama na ye twa nantwie ye twa nkokɔ ye twa nkra ye twa niema gu so before se be free so unless say o papa o maame the busu penyini o busu penyini o maame busu penyini o mu ti na chi ekɔ Ajagwaja have to be the last person so obekɔ no ho on kwa otufo ofri otufo ho a na okɔ girl no ho ofri girl no ho chief ni mam of chief ni mama any opon hye but Ajagwaja have to be last uni bibi on the ba social media twa niema good so eti opa ono okọ no festa what the chain kra se den kra still na no ese otu for the channel Ajagwaja any ono.
And before you came into office, you had been a ranking, so you're very much on top of the issues, and so you've been exhibiting that in office. But particularly when there are concerns being raised, that there are other foreign nationals from the West African sub-region who have Ghanaian passports, especially in the Gulf, in the Southeast Asian countries, who are using Ghanaian passports and perpetrate crimes in the name of Ghanaians. And so for those who legitimately have Ghanaian passports and live decent lives tend to face a certain reaction as a result of those actions. Has it come to your notice? How do you work on that? How are you working on that?
Yeah, it has come to our notice, and it appears to be a very age-old challenge. But fortunately, because of the investments we have made in strengthening the security architecture around passport acquisition, now it is very, very difficult. The last time I held a press conference and exposed how over 370 foreigners who tried in recent weeks to obtain Ghanaian passports, how they were exposed. Because of the system we have put in place, we quickly rounded them up, and they are being prosecuted as we speak. And we made it clear at that press conference that you will not be allowed to obtain a Ghanaian passport when you are not a Ghanaian, when you don't qualify to have a Ghanaian passport. And when we get you, you will not be spared. You will be prosecuted, and we will go for the full sanctions, not leaving out jail sentences. So it should be made clear that we have tightened the system. We now have a PPP arrangement with the BTS consortium, which infuses a lot of technology. And often on these platforms, I don't want to delve into details for these criminals to want to beat the system. But you see, previously, before I became foreign minister, if you are applying for a passport in Tamale, from the Tamale Passport Application Center, those in Accra or in Takrady, at the Takrady Passport Application Center, don't know what is going on in Tamale. So if you are denied, the people in Tamale do a good job and notice that, no, you just crossed into the country probably from a neighboring country. You don't qualify. You can try your luck in Takrady or in Accra.
And it will be isolated.
And because the system was not integrated. Now we have full integration, real-time integration. And once you are flagged any part of our country, you will not be allowed. If you attempt, you will be arrested. So I think that the systems we've put in place really help. But I would say that we all have to be eternally vigilant. Sometimes it is some of our own citizens who try to, vouch for these foreigners. Oh, it's my cousin, my brother. Oh, he or she is a Ghanaian, and they come up with all kinds of spurious claims. And when we go into it, we find out that they have obtained a Ghana card fraudulently. They do not qualify, for a Ghanaian passport. So let me assure all Ghanaians, including our international partners watching, that the system now has been tightened. We have a zero tolerance policy against any foreigner holding on to our passport. Because you see, some of the visa waiver agreements we have signed recently, one of the conditions is that we must keep the sanctity of our passports. We must make sure that those passports don't get into the wrong hands. Because if they do get into the wrong hands, the countries will pull out. I mean, we are talking about countries, you know, in Europe, in other parts of Africa, in Asia,
in the Caribbean,
you know,
well.
the Caribbeans who care very much about, you know, national security, and they really have entered into these agreements with Ghana because they know they can trust Ghanaians. Ghanaians are law-abiding. Ghanaians, you know, we are not, you know, a failed state. You know, we are very decent people. So if they do not get the sense that we are going the extra mile to protect the sanctity of our passports, they will get out of these agreements. And we don't want that. We rather want to have many more Ghanaians. And now I want to add value to our passports. So far, we are doing about 52 countries where you can travel visa-free.
Just walk in.
Yes, I'm hoping that we can double this number, you know.
Over
Busuafo Madaroma asama make ya ni bresem and it's alleged mesam sa wo was Sako City such a duma say na sa papa ya wa wuyi se wo bi ka kire se wo age usika de papa ni wuo no e de wa ba Canada ha wo boa enye yie papa no so wo bi ka kire se wo age usika no de papa ni wuo ne de wa ba Canada ha wo boa enye yie it's alleged enti mo ya jeje musika no manya nte yesi ya jeje nipa 5 usika ese ya de mu ba na abaya yie no enye yie maame no kunani no yede ne kunu no afunu akoma no wo Ghana enti wonim se wote ho atwen se obi de wo ba broche we da papa ni di ma enye yie papa no woni nkrata ni di ni aban bukum enti se wotra mo bi de dadawa wadada wo kwa afen so maame kunani no ne kunu ni ja no ho ebetra ha no 10 good years no wa woni da enti yensusu yemu no ene baby a ya ka akoduru no ya asem nyina ne so amofa papa no koma ne yire no wonsie no enti me ka we ya to ha se wonnim na wo ma ya de papa no ho bibi de wo bedu kro mu awotimi kra ma wo be se wusika na yanso ya ka akosi se sika kakra ya nya wo ho no ebetimi de papa na ko Ghana mo ntra ha se sika no ka so mo de ye connection ti se wotena ho na obi ji wusika se papa no ho wuo no wado ba Canada enye yie munka hu se yetemra krom ye bakwa sanchene e dia fra mu sugar ama mo na mix enti no wo yes adia no you need to stop mu kurani ni mobo kurani ni se wane ne ba no mo ma bro kire o mo je o mu funu enti mu fa kurani ni funu ankoma no wo share kire no wo share kire no isalage se nipa mienu bi de share kire ye pa mo cho mu nyai obi antimi makrom ha in the name of papa wa betena Canada ono wanya nkrata di mu enti wo share kire no jai na mo de fasura ye de ba fa form obi a wo email obi antimi send email say ya mo say ye ntie ya ye tie ya say ya mo say ye ntie ya ye tie ya enti mo bia nche ni sika ma obi abusuani bia say ye do fi Sako e do ba ha say be ye enye ye me na ma say aha ye Toronto News
abusia asum na twese we ndi etwegu so just me fa mo si ahase